Hamilton, welcome to City Hall for the celebration of International Women's Day.
It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to the steps of City Hall as we recognize International Women's Day, not only here in Bermuda, but across the globe. In 2020, we celebrate the hashtags Each for Equal. For generations, women have been fighting for their rights, the right to vote, the right to go to school and university, the right for equal pay for equal work, the right to practice medicine and law, even to drive a car, and of course the right to run for public office. Here's to all the masterpieces out there. Again, welcome to City Hall and have a great day. Thank you.
Anyway, we're going to get this program started, and at this time we have a young lady that is going to come to the podium. And this is a phenomenal young lady. She is the deputy head girl of the Barclay Institute, and she goes by the name of Anushka Jayatunga, and she is going to share her journey with you today. Let's give her a round of applause as she comes. Come on, Nush.
Hi everyone, I'm Anushka Jayatunga, and this is my journey. I haven't always known who I was, what I was worth, or how much of a blessing it is to be the daughter of an amazing woman. It has taken me a while to figure it out, but I wouldn't give up anything I've been through for an easy sailing through. From young, I've always considered myself a daddy's girl. It was him and I against the world. When I was in primary school, my parents divorced, and it felt like it was the worst thing that can happen to me. My father leaving us to go back home in Sri Lanka. This left me feeling broken, doubtful, and fearful of my future. I completely shut down to my mother, avoiding letting her in at all costs, but she was always determined to try with me. It was just my mother, sister, and I living in a one-bedroom apartment at the time. I hated the life I had and blamed my mother for it. No matter how ungrateful and selfish I was to my mother, she was always right there to sacrifice everything for my sister and I. Being a beautiful young girl, I have always had attention put on me. My transition into high school was hard. It felt like once I hit those high school doors, I was a deer in a woods full of cheetahs. Older boys and men preying on me every day, it seemed. I couldn't walk anywhere without getting looks from males or men, or them yelling out to me. Not knowing who I was or my worth, I thought this was the normal thing that I just had to deal with. All the attention clouded my mind and distracted me from school. I was failing classes. I had been suspended in my first year of high school and never received honors in my whole freshman year. I promised myself that my second year was going to be better, but boy, was it much worse. In my sophomore year, I had been preyed on by an older male. Yes, I knew right from wrong, but I was a young and curious girl. I never did pay attention to older guys and what they had to say to me, but he would say things that made me feel the safety and security I never got from my father. Being that young and having this older guy seem interested in me, I thought I had to send revealing pictures to keep him interested. Silly, I know, right? I was so caught up, I allowed it to get as far as him putting his hands on my body. I am so grateful for my sister going through my phone and catching me speaking to him. If not, it could have gone as far as him entering my body. Once my sister told my mother, everything came out. I got caught and so did he. He tried lying and say it was me who threw myself on him. 5 months going in and out of the police station, meeting with family services, having people message me calling me a hoe and asking how was the older guy, and knowing that I had to go to court for this was not easy on me. Through those 5 months and after, my mother was still there for me. God eventually gave me the strength to overcome this situation and open my eyes to who I was and what I was worth. It was truly a life-changing moment. I could have let that experience keep me in a stuck place, allowing men to manipulate and take advantage of my vulnerability, but I didn't. I moved past it, learned so much from it, and now I am where I am today. An amazing, strong, courageous, and beautiful young lady sharing my journey. I am not ashamed of what it took for me to find out who Anushka was and her worth. I am not afraid if people go and talk about it. I am proud of it. I am now achieving honors and high honors in school. I am now the deputy head girl of the Barclay Institute. I am now the vice captain of Gold House. I am now on a successful path to graduating in June 2020. I am now given the opportunities to share my journey, and it feels wonderful. And I owe it all to my beautiful, brave, strong, supportive, and loving mother for always being there for me and paving the way for me becoming an amazing woman just as she is, as well as my intelligent, humble, fearless, supportive, and gorgeous sister for loving me non-stop. Women are not just objects that submit to males. We are daughters, sisters, mothers. We are bold and strong. We are doctors and athletes. We are teachers and creators. We are flawless and fearless. We are game changers. We are equals. Thank you.
Out there, please give me the Queen's wave. Thank you so much. It's so pretty to see. Right before you is my PowerPoint presentation, so you can pay attention to the slides when we get there. When I was asked to speak for this momentous occasion, I felt honored and full of joy and excitement. Then they told me, I've got 3 minutes. So my joy, my excitement turned into sheer terror. What can I tell you in 3 minutes? Then I found out that the human brain can read 2,100 words in 3 minutes. I also found out that in every 3 minutes, 339 children are born into poverty. I also found out that the brain can process 1,800 million bits of vital information. And another fun fact, every 3 minutes, we produce 7,500 tons of garbage. A lot can happen in 3 minutes. So here's what you can learn from 3 remarkable women in the 2 minutes that I have left. In 1922, a woman named Bessie Coleman broke barriers in aviation. This was the world's first woman of color to earn a pilot's license. 12 years later, Grace Hopper became the first woman to earn a PhD in mathematics. And she got it from Yale University and was later known as a computer scientist that transformed the business world. And finally, Sarah Breedlove, later known as Madam C.J. Walker, was the first self-made female millionaire in America. She developed beauty and hair products for African Americans who, after suffering a scalp ailment, she herself lost her hair. And so now with a few seconds remaining, what have we just learned? Number 1, we must fly high and soar no matter what the discriminations that come our way. We also learned that mathematics really does matter. So let's compute our greatness today. And if I learn to turn my loss to gain, then I can transform my destiny. It's amazing what you can learn in just 3 minutes. Wouldn't you agree? Ladies, please stand. Always remember, fly high, compute greatness, and turn your loss into gain. Thank you very much.
not enough. I know that the hashtag is each for equal, an equal world is an enabled world, but equality, that's not what we need right now. Equality only works when everybody starts from the same ground. Equality only works when there is an equal and even playing field. What we need is not equality, what we need is equity. Equity means that everybody gets what they need individually to succeed. And only once we have an equitable playing field can things truly be equal. Premier Burt, could you come to the podium? Mr. Cannonier, Wendy, and let's see. Do we have one other volunteer from the crowd? One volunteer from the crowd to come to the podium. Jeff Ayala, come on up. Come on up, Jeff. Now, that is what equality looks like. Equality looks like giving everybody the same thing so that they can succeed. Do we know that they all need my prescription? Do we know that they don't need Wendy's prescription? Jeff probably doesn't even wear glasses. So this is what happens when we strive for equality and not equity. People get what we think they need, but it does not necessarily level the playing field. So when you think about equality and how you can achieve it, let's focus first on equity. How can we ensure that each person gets what they need, not what we think they need? Thank you very much.
My name is Katerina Hoskins and I'm the Honorary Consul of Austria. I also work part-time for an asset management company and I have a kitchen and interior design business. I'm also a volunteer at Masterworks Museum of Bermuda Art and I'm a mother of 8-year-old twin boys and I'm married to a Bermudian. This is how I introduced myself in the past. Today I'm standing in front of you as a professional woman in diplomacy and finance, a female entrepreneur, a contributor to a premier Bermuda charity, a woman activist and founder of this event, and most importantly, an equal parent of 2 young boys and an equal partner in a working marriage. My question to you is, what is your role and what contributions can you make in your day-to-day life that could enhance gender equality? Gloria Steinem, world-renowned feminist, journalist and activist, once explained, "The story of women's struggle for equality belongs to no single feminist, nor to any one organization, but to the collective effort of all who care about human rights." So I applaud you all for coming out today. Are we teaching our children enough about the past so that they can make the right choices in the future? The choices that will enable us to live in a more equal society. Did you know that Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, the famous Austrian pianist and composer, had an older sister called Maria Anna Mozart, who was also a very talented musician? Their father took them both on tours to Vienna and Paris to showcase their talents. However, from the age of 19, Maria was no longer permitted to travel with her brother as she had reached a marriageable age and it was socially inappropriate to showcase a woman's talents back in 1770. What would our history books look like if Maria would have continued to play publicly? Unfortunately, most of history, women were raised to take the back seat. However, knowing about the profound cultural and societal changes in the past 300 years, seeing female politicians, technicians and other female leaders rising to power, I can see how far we have come. It fills my heart with joy to see so many of you who came out today, even with the coronavirus threat, and to recognize the importance of this event. It would have not happened without the support of our committee members. They are all female professionals, entrepreneurs and mothers, and on top of that, they contributed their time to make this event even bigger and more successful than in the past. Let me introduce them to you. Wendy Percy, Latoya Bean, Alicia Otterbridge, Cordelia Davis, Elaine Battlefield, Caroline Burlow, Crystal Torak, Patrina O'Connor-Painter, Tashia O'Connor, Morgan Simons, Yvonne DeCosta, Alison Morrison, and Valencia Holder. We all stand here in solidarity with the many women that contribute to fight for gender equality. I also want to thank to our existing and new sponsors that came on board this year. With your help, we raised over $15,000 so far this year to support the Women's Resource Center, which is doing incredible work to help our local women and their families. Speaking about incredible achievements of local women, Wendy will introduce you to this year's award recipient.
Hello, Bermuda. 4 years ago, I was invited by my friend Katerina to be part of this movement, International Women's Day. Perhaps we had a crowd of 100 people. Look at us now. Whether it's striving for equal pay, being treated equally in the workplace, or highlighting underrepresentation in the boardroom, equality for women is one of the most globalized issues of our lifetime. How can we embrace this movement and move the needle? Can you imagine if all of us right here, right now, collaboratively chose the goal this year to focus on inclusivity and equal rights? Whether it was at work, at school, at home, whether it was just saying a prayer for the people of our beautiful island to have harmony and grace with each other, or helping a student you see who is being bullied, or using your voice to support equality for all. For the men in the audience, can you pledge to be part of the change? Maybe it's as simple as teaching your children from a young age that equality starts in the home. For me, today's celebration is an opportunity not only to showcase some of the amazing women that are part of our island, but more specifically to empower our next generations. I speak to all of our young adults and students in the audience. BHS, Warwick Academy, MSA, BI, Cedarbridge, Paget Primary, all of you. The world needs you. Bermuda needs you. Women are underrepresented in science, technology, engineering, math, and design. We need your voice. Look at Greta and what her voice has done globally for climate change. Each one of you can make a difference. We all are responsible for change, and I invite each of you to pay it forward. Today, the Bermuda International Women's Day Committee is celebrating our 5th anniversary. To commemorate this auspicious occasion, we created a Woman of the Year award. This award was established to honor a Bermudian woman who excels in her career, has strong leadership skills, and contributes to our community. I am very pleased to introduce you to a woman who has smashed through the glass ceiling of Bermuda's Maritime and become the first ever female ferry pilot. Tammy's story is important, and again, I'm specifically speaking to all the students. Tammy had no idea what she wanted to do when she graduated from school. Tammy wasn't sure where her life was going. Tammy faced discrimination. Sometimes obstacles occurred that she had no control over. However, Tammy kept pushing through the challenges and did not give up. Today, Tammy can drive and captain any of the fleets on our water. She uses her voice as an executive of the Bermuda Industrial Union. She is a member of the Bermuda Hockey Federation for over 30 years, a member of Women's International Shipping and Trading Association, and is secretary for the West End Sailboat Club. Tammy is passionate about sharing her knowledge and strives for equality, whether at work or in her daily life. Please, please put your hands together and welcome our Woman of the Year, Tammy Ray.
Wow, good afternoon. My Vista sisters making their noise. I'd just like to say thank you. You do things in life not expecting to actually, not necessarily with the intention of impacting other people sometimes. For me, working on the water was basically what I wanted to do. I always said that I would never go into a job that I did not enjoy. So I've been actually on the water for 25 years now. 2 years out of high school, like Wendy said, I didn't know what I wanted to do. The water found me, and I made it my life. In 2005, I got the privilege to have a job, get started working at Marina Ports. In 2006, I got the opportunity to go to Barbados to school, on a National Training Board program, to actually get my pilot's license or learn maritime operations. So if you can imagine, at 31 years old, I was actually going back to school. I remember my first electrical class. His procedure was to introduce yourself. You had to give your name and you had to give your age. So he started out and he says, my name is such and such. I'm 28 years old. I said, oh my God, I'm 3 years older than my instructor. The first kid that introduced himself was 16 years old. He was fresh out of high school. So, but I actually went through and I excelled. They were trying to compete with me to get the better grades when I was in school. So I came back to Bermuda, and within a year, I was signed off as an acting junior ferry pilot with the Department of Marina Ports. Just under a year later, I was, in 2009, I became Bermuda's first female ferry pilot. And a lot of, like Randy had said, I have been through a lot of trials with the guys, some of the guys that I work with. Not just the men, the women too. Women, we need to actually bring ourselves together and take out the envy, and let's work together so that we can rise up together. Because there are women that think that what you do as an everyday life is a negative. Because you want to do what you want to do and be who you want to be, it's negative, but it's not. Everybody is an individual, and we're blessed to be individuals. And as women, I know a lot of men, I've been through a lot of experiences where they say, why do we only celebrate women? Well, because, like, I'm going to steal somebody else's line. Well, if you want to celebrate men, then you guys get a day and celebrate yourselves. But everything in life has always been presented to men. Like, it took me, Marina Ports has been around for almost 70 years. And it took me till 2009 to actually become the first female. So there is a lot. And I do have to say this, as long as you do what you want to do, so those kids, if you don't know what you want to do, that's fine. As long as you find what you want to do and just do what you have to do, then you will get what you want. Thank you.
Actually, it's a very humbling experience because I just go about my day doing what it's really nice to actually be recognized for doing, just going about doing your everyday life, like the average straight lady. Being at this event, to see the support that we actually have for the Women's Day event itself, and then appreciative of all the people that actually came out today to support me, was truly amazing.
Just wanted to make sure that she left in the right fashion. Because you know, ladies, when we exit the room, we have to exit in the right fashion. Ladies, are we on fire? Yes, girl power. Congratulations, Tammy Ray.
Of course, they gave me the hardest job, which was coming behind all of these dynamic women, including the 7-year-old. But I want to change it up a little bit this afternoon, and I want to talk specifically to the men. If we are advocating each for equal, we must also empower men, ladies. It's not enough to enlighten and empower women and expect men to follow. If we want to see meaningful change, both men and women must be included. Gender equality is about transforming unequal power relations between men and women. This involves challenging notions of masculinity and traditional perceptions of manhood. It examines what is considered equivalent in terms of rights, benefits, obligations, and opportunities. It requires men to question power dynamics in their actions, in their words, at the personal, interpersonal, and societal level, and take responsibility for change. Individually, each one of us is responsible for our own thoughts and actions. We can actively choose to challenge stereotypes, fight bias, broaden perceptions, and celebrate women's achievements. Therefore, collectively, we can all help create a gender-balanced world. I believe it is right that as a woman, I'm paid the same as my male counterparts. I believe it is right that I should be able to make decisions about my own body. I believe it is right for women to be involved on behalf of me in politics and decision-making in Bermuda. I believe it is right that socially I am afforded the same respect as my male counterparts. Both men and women should feel free to be sensitive. Both men and women should feel free to be strong. Men, as our allies, ladies, can be role models in elevating women's access to employment, appropriate working conditions, control of economic resources, and full participation in decision making. A gender equal world can be a better world, healthier and more harmonious. Imagine for a moment a gender equal boardroom, a gender equal government, gender equal media coverage, gender equal workplaces, more gender equality in health, and more gender equality in wealth. So I challenge you, Bermuda, let's make this thing happen. The Women's Resource Center is delighted to once again be a part of this game-changing event. We work very hard to provide services and support to equip women with the tools needed to navigate life's issues, as well as build on their own strengths to realize their full potential. Our latest efforts include partnership with Habitat for Humanity, with the establishment of the Transformational Living Center, or TLC, for women. This is a homeless shelter for women with up to 3 children. And this center will not just be a home, but it will also provide wraparound support programs to transform residents' mindsets and therefore their lives from surviving into thriving. This will be a community project, and we look forward to all of your support. In closing today, this incredible effort could not have happened without our sponsors, our founding sponsor, EY, Also, from the START sponsors, Wakefield Quinn Limited, Willis, thank you, Willis Towers Watson, and PwC Bermuda. And the new sponsors of this year, Butterfield Bank, Appleby, Hanover Re, and Bermuda Worldwide Shipping. This would not have been possible without them, and thank you again for coming.
Bermuda, we did this.